There we go. All right. So, hey everybody, welcome to the stream. I've got with me King of the Night 57. He's
Yeah.
You want to kind of explain a little about yourself, and then we can get into the questions and stuff.
I'm pretty much gaming, Final Fantasy community, YouTuber, and streamer. So that's your basic synopsis of me.
Yeah. Okay. And would you say you only do Final Fantasy, or you do other stuff too? What?
I do other stuff too. I mix up some content sometimes.
Okay. And I've noticed you started streaming recently. Like you were doing more YouTube before, so.
Yeah, well, ever since I got PS4, I figured out the streaming stuff, and I was like, you know what? And I bought me a PlayStation camera. I was like, I might as well just be doing some streaming because right now, Twitch is what's going to bring me some views and stuff like that because everyone's live streaming now. So I was like, I might as well just jump on it.
Yeah, so how do you like Twitch? How do you like it compared to the YouTube community?
It's fair. It's relatively the same. You get your hits and miss. You get your positive comments, your negative comments. It's pretty much kind of the same a little bit. The only things with if you have a capture card and you can upgrade your PC, you get to decorate your Twitch a lot more.
Yeah, that's true. You can do more customization and stuff of your stream.
Exactly.
All right, so I got some questions prepared. I'm gonna just go through the list here and.
All right.
Let's see. So, yeah, first question off the bat: what is your favorite Final Fantasy game, bud?
7.
7?
Yep, it's 7.
You like Tifa and Sephiroth and all that?
It's the first. It's funny how it is because it's the first. It's for Final Fantasy fans. It's always the first game they ever played. It becomes their most favorite because there's a special memory to them.
Yeah.
So
the first one I played was 10, and that was my favorite. So maybe you're right.
Exactly. It's one of those things.
But 10-2 sucked balls. I hated 10-2. I don't know about you, but
I think they kind of messed up on the direction. Like to be quite honest, first of all, it was Barbie mixed with Final Fantasy, so the dress sphere was and then they couldn't decide on a villain because first that one chick, the LeBlanc, was supposed to be the villain, and then they switched to Titus lookalike. And then the Venegun weapon, they couldn't. It's like there's so many things that they couldn't decide on. It's more of indecisiveness.
Yeah, it's like they couldn't make up their minds, so they just put a bunch of crap in there. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so let's got another one here. So, who would win in a battle, Sephiroth, Cloud, or Titus out of those three?
Oh, that's gonna be hard. I had to say Cloud because he defeated Sephiroth, and Sephiroth is on a god level. So
yeah. Do you think they did a rematch? Who would win, Sephiroth or Cloud?
Oh, Cloud would definitely. Cloud at the end of SC7 is like already all powerful. I think the only problem I have with Dirge Service and even though I like Dirge Service, is that he should have been able to defeat Rose of the Crimson like that. He should have been able to beat Bester because. He's at this point, he's the strongest character in Final Fantasy VII. It's like,
so who would you say is the most powerful character in the whole universe of Final Fantasy?
There's always gonna be some OP characters, but if I had to be quite honest, it could be Noctis because even though he gave up his life to gain all to the power to do anything he wants, he has the power to do anything he wants, and now he's an immortal ghost, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good point. So,
exactly.
15, would you say that's like the universe's power creeped a bunch in 15?
Oh, there's too many overpowered characters in 15. I just gotta be quite honest right now. First of all, you got a villain. The only way you can kill him is by sacrificing Noctis, the main character. And if you do that, it gets rid of the Ring of Lucia and gets rid of the Star Scourge. And every time the Star Scourge is up, Arden comes back, so pretty much you had to face an immortal Satan-like figure. So, yeah, I think to be quite honest, 15 is a little bit more OP, even more than the city.
Did you notice that they kind of copied kind of Harry Potter a little bit with Voldemort and stuff. Did you know
Exactly.
that? Yeah.
Oh, I kind of know. I kind of figured that out. Especially the fact that there's two people running the Star Scourge. It was the main villain Arden, and then the summon Ifrit.
Right.
And then there's the Niflheim Empire.
What did you think of 13 with the Foul Sea? Did you like those villains better, or did 15 ones better?
I had to be honest. 13 was. We didn't get to see very much for the 15 villains except for the main villain. Now they're just putting in patches to buy. They're putting in patches to buy, so you can add more to the store. But it's like it's kind of too late. The game's already been out. It's like, you know, if they could have put more backstory in all the villains in 15, I'm pretty sure 15 would have ended up being better.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. So, what do you think about that? Where the games now, they'll release a game $60. But then to get the full story, you got to pay them more money. What do you think?
See, that nobody likes that. Let's be quite honest. Nobody likes that. Nobody really cares for that kind of stuff.
I agree. It's gay. They shouldn't do that.
Exactly. I remember the time as a kid that you actually, I don't know, if you beat the full story, you beat the full story, but you get extra endings or extra this if you play the game this way. Now you have to pay for that. I think that's kind of stupid, to be quite honest.
Yeah. So, do you think Square Enix is good or bad?
I think it's mixed with them. It depends what decisions they choose to do. Like, I like some stuff. Like, I'm glad they're gonna release a new Dissidia game for like homemade consoles, you know, and make it an esport. I think that's a good profitable decision. That's when they do good decisions. Bad decisions when they take things out, like they take the compilation out of Final Fantasy VII so they can craft a new story. That's a bad decision. It depends on what they're doing.
That's a good point. So, if you could tell Square Enix, you know, one thing, what would you tell them to do?
I'd say maybe you might want to outweigh the good over the bad by doing things the fans want, you know.
Yeah.
I know not everything can be possible, but you know, like I would start doing things like, I don't know. I think for the Final Fantasy VII remake, they could put the compilation in there, and that way we wouldn't need the compilation games. If they could just put hints at the compilation, but most likely just do things that please the fans, but be realistic about it. But don't I don't know how to put it this way. Don't do things that they don't like.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Maybe the people in China like that stuff more or something.
Well, I know for the Final Fantasy 15, what happened was many things. Tabata became the director, so it changed. So they took out they supposedly took out, because I don't believe they took it out all the way, the Fabio Crystolius Novia. But it's supposed, because there's a picture of Etro in Kingslave movie. Now, you can't tell me there's no Fabio Crystolius Novia if there's a picture, a framed picture in a scene in a movie that is canon to the game.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just throwing in Easter eggs that kind of mess up the story sometimes.
Exactly. But most likely, it's like, I think they could, do a little bit better by just, at least get a fan approval with some things they're doing.
All right, so let's get into the next question here. So I've noticed in your chat there's been a bunch of drama lately. You want to talk about that a little bit? What do you think's causing that?
It's mostly just immature. There's three things. It could be immature people. It could be immature people that sometimes come on there just to be stupid. Edgelords, of course, I should know it's Twitch, and some of those edgelord kids that go up there and say the N-word and all that stuff. I mean, I should know. I mean, PSN and Xbox Live is synonymous with kids who like to sound racist because it's edgy and cool. And it's like, no, it's stupid. I usually just block those people. And sometimes it could be Travelmatic, because that dude has a lot of beef with me.
Oh yeah, explain Travamatic. I hear his name thrown around a lot, but don't know.
Yeah, he's someone who used to be my friend, but then he kind of went crazy, so I cut him off. Then he got mad. I cut him off, so he went and sent dick pics to all my female friends on Facebook, or at least most of them. And then
He did that to you?
to my female friends. And then he came, and this is when I was working at Panera. He came to Panera and acted a fool and got me fired.
He got you fired from your job?
Uh-huh.
Did you beat him up?
Oh, it got worse. And then one time he called the police and said that I hacked him and sent those pictures. So I had to talk to a policeman.
But I would whoop his butt if he did that to me.
Yeah, he's some special. I mean, the reason why I stopped being friends with him is because after I got to see X-Men Apocalypse and stuff like that, me and my best friend came out of the theater and I noticed there's 16 voicemails on my phone.
Oh my god!
I checked them out and this is why I cut our friendship off. Apparently he found out the girl he likes, the girl he was stalking for 16 years. And just got a boyfriend. Oh, he went ham. I heard the voice messages. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, okay. I had to call and leave messages like, okay, we can no longer be friends. This is crazy. This is nuts. This is no normal person does this stuff.
So he was obsessing over this girl, and she wasn't into him. So he flipped his crap.
Exactly. What ended our friendship is like he told me he was gonna do some bad stuff to her boyfriend. I'm like, no, I ain't. No, look, I'm not gonna go to jail or do some stupid shit to go to jail. You do that shit, you do that by yourself, and that's what set him off and made him do all this.
Yeah, it ain't worth going to jail for that. I mean,
now he makes fake accounts to try and troll me, so I had to constantly block accounts. My question is, I don't know how he keeps doing this. I mean, you gotta run out of emails at some time. You gotta run out of email sometime.
Well, you can do something called VPN and get a new IP address and keep doing it and doing it. So that's probably what he's doing.
Well, that's very unproductive.
Yeah, it takes a bunch of time, but if you're committed, you control people like that. So,
wow.
Yeah. So he still goes in your stream and just trolls you a bunch.
He does.
Yeah. And you just
ban
his ass. That's good.
I just ban it. I get his ass banned. It's like,
get his ass banned. Yeah, I say that too sometimes.
You know.
Did that come from the fighting community? From Street Fighter, right?
Oh, yeah. I got that from Low Tier God.
Low Tier God.
Yeah, that's where I got that mogo.
That motto. Okay.
Yeah.
So, besides Travis, I've heard that you came under fire from the social justice movement lately.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not really lately, but I've had troubles with social justice warriors. I've had it, either with videos or even if I accidentally say something that could be triggering, offensive, even though I always label it as a joke and satire, I don't think they understand joke or satire really well, because if they did, they would understand some stuff. But the problem I have with them is like, it's just with everything, just like, it's almost if they're looking at something. It's like if they're going so far to look at something wrong.
I know what you mean. Like the social justice warrior come in my stream, and if I say like, "Oh, that was gay," right? Then they get mad at me.
Right?
Yeah.
That's exactly. No, they'll look at that and they'll look at that like, "Oh, how? So what's wrong with being gay?"
Yeah, it's like every little thing gets them mad now. You know what I mean?
And it's stupid, so it's a waste of time. It's like, why be offended at something, They
get, what's it called, triggered, right? You trigger them.
Exactly. And that's why they mostly, and then they complain why they get a lot of trolls. It's like, you give them your reaction. You're going out there showing people you're getting real mad. That's why they keep going at you.
Yeah. What do you think of the political correct culture we got nowadays?
I understand some things are taboo, but everything, I mean, it's getting overbearing. Like, I don't know if you see this, but they're even indoctrinating stuff in movies, comics, and video games today, trying to indoctrinate people into the social justice movement. So I think it's getting a little bit more pushy. It's really funny because back in the 90s, it used to be the religious soccer moms pushing their religious agenda, and now it's the left political correctness PC warriors.
Yeah, like it flip flopped or something. Yeah.
Exactly. It's almost if it flip flop.
So have you noticed that it's been doing that on YouTube now too? Like PewDiePie was getting in trouble. And...
Oh yeah, now they're demonetizing videos. They're demonetizing videos.
Has that affected your channel at all, bud?
I've had a couple videos get deleted because of that. Man, it sucks though, because when I do work hard on videos and stuff like that, it sucks. I had to go back and re-upload it again. It's more of an annoyance if anything else.
Yeah. What have you heard about? So there was a guy streaming on Twitch and he talked to JonTron, and then he got in big trouble too. You hear about that?
No, I'm not surprised with that.
Yeah. So, next question here is, now that you've been on Twitch, have you looked at any streams? You got any ones you like to watch a bunch or what?
I mostly watch Hylia. That's my home girl. Which shout out to her.
So, what do you think of the female streamers? Most of them on here.
I think there's some legit ones like Hylia, like she's legit with her stuff, and then there's other ones who try to cheat the system by using some tactics.
What are you talking about? Where they show their boobies and stuff, and
exactly.
Yeah. They don't even play games. Most of them, they just sit there.
Exactly.
Get free money. What do you think Twitch should do about that?
Well, I mean, I like that they get banned. I mean, that's the best you can do with that stuff. But it's hard to catch people who doing underhanded tactics. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of bullcrap if you ask me, because there's all these kids on here just trying to have fun, watching games, and you got the girls there with the boobies and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to catch. Now, one thing that I could probably do is not get paid off. Like, I know with the Zoe Burger situation, the only reason she kept getting on because they got paid by her. It's like, I gotta be quite honest, that's kind of underhanded. See, yeah. I grew up under a businesswoman for a grandmother, so I know about ethics, and the way I see it, Twitch has become unethical when it came to stuff like this.
Do you think that's good for a business to do, to be unethical?
No, not really. I mean, yes, to be ethical, yes. You got to be ethical. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to be professional if you're not ethical. I mean, no one's going to want to do business, if you're not ethical. If you're allowing, underhand tactics to be put on the spot, then, other businesses are going to see this and like, nah, no, sorry.
Yeah, that's a good point, bud. So, what do you think Twitch should do about this? Just ban them all? Ban all the girls?
I wouldn't say ban them all, but when you catch underhanded stuff, you call it out and ban them. Because, I mean, there are girls out there that's doing legit stuff. Like my girl, Hylia. She's a legit gamer, playing games and doing all that stuff. It's unfair people assume that she's one of those type of girls when, because of these extreme, types.
They make the real girl gamers look bad.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
100%.
And then they got the White Knights too that defend the booby on here.
What? These White Knights are just losers, pretty much.
Yeah.
They have not seen a girl in years. They've been in their cave for like a whole bunch of years with Doritos and Mountain Dew, not email. So that's why they do it.
So, do you think the White Knights will ever learn, or do you think they'll still be dum-dums?
Well, right now it just seems it seems like it's impossible because some of this is indoctrination. Like I talked about, they're indoctrinating people into political correctness, and that's one route of political correctness. They're indoctrinating people into doing stuff like this, so it's going to be really hard because, this is where it's important to have a father in the house if you're a boy, because at least they teach you not to do foolish stuff like this, especially with propaganda out there telling you need to go save this female and all this stuff.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So What advice would you give a guy to get girls? Would it be to be a thug, or a douchebag, or a man of strong moral character out of those?
I have to say a man of strong moral character because you still respect women
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but you're not going to be a fool and chase after the women that don't want you. What I see these white knights do, they chase after women that are either way out of their league or women that don't want them.
That's a good point. Like, I see that too. Is they'll be not very buff. They don't go to the gym. They smell bad, and then they try to go for these girls that are.
And the reason why they want buff guys is they just want someone who can take care of them, someone who could protect them. You don't have to be a bad boy or anything like that, but if you have some edge on you, it helps in the long run.
That's a good point, bud. So any best advice for white knights? What would you tell them?
I'd say get out of this indoctrination and, start focusing on the women that are on your team and start going to the gym more often. Start showering first of all. That's forget stuff if you're not showering. You gotta hit that first. Hit that shower first. Then hit the gym. Try to get into better fashion and try to find the females that's on their team instead of trying to go for something they can't obtain. Because when I see these white knights, white knights never defend girls that look real, are blessed with a whole bunch of looks. They don't white knight none of those girls, but they'll white knight these, bombshells that they can't get.
Yeah, it don't make sense why they would be doing that. I think they're not looking at reality, That's
it's fantasy with them, all of it.
Yeah. So another thing I've noticed on this website, besides the white knights, there's a lot of weeaboos. You know what that is, right?
Oh, I know what that is. So trust me, I know. When I was going to junior college, I went to anime club because I wanted something to do right after school and stuff like that because I was only taking like 3 classes, and this is like the first year because I didn't take 6 classes until my 3rd year in junior college. But my first year, I went to anime club after classes, and there's some weeaboos in there. I mean, I see what people talk about when they talk about weeaboos.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad news because they they don't even have lives. They don't live in 3D. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I remember this cringy one.
Oh yeah. What
he was. He would practice yoga in the middle of the floor and look very like awkward poses, and he would say crazy stuff like in his past life he was an angry lesbian that hated men. Just crazy stuff would come out of this dude's mouth. And that Hatsune Miku is his waifu, and
oh no,
to get engaged to her. It's like, dude was weird. Worst of all, he was one of those dudes who also wore a man bun too, if I remember. But he was just, and then not only that, he would just embarrass me, because he just couldn't stop talking, just talking and saying a bunch of stuff that just makes me like think, what?
And he thinks he's Chinese or something, right? Like he's.
Oh, he does. He thinks he's he thinks he's he thinks he's Japanese and stuff like that. And the worst part is he said he would never date a white girl, black girl, or Japanese girl that's in USA. He wants a legit, authentic Japanese girl. Like he said that in one of the club meetings.
Why would he even want that? You know about Pearl Harbor, right?
According to weeaboos, they're goddesses to them, I guess.
I don't get it, cause the Japanese, they bombed America and stuff. They don't like America,
And they're a xenophobic culture. They really don't like us over there, like a lot. And the only reason why that is because I talked to someone at this one store called Box Lunch. It's a store where they sell anime stuff, and the guy actually went to Japan because he was part of the army or something like that. And he was told not to go into a restaurant. They did this X thing like this. It means no gaijin, no outsiders.
Okay.
Of course, the manager was nice and say, "Hey, don't do that to them." But the reason why they do that is they think that us Americans are rowdy.
So, whatever happened to being proud that you're an American? You know what I mean, bud?
It's a lot of things. It's a long list of things.
'Cause
I think with weeaboos, it's an obsession. I don't think they. I mean, they do want to be Japanese, but it's like I think what it is they get so obsessed. When you get upset, and it goes with anything. If you get too obsessed with something, then you're not going to be able to think straight or think in reality terms.
So, what would you do to? What would you say to the weeaboo? Should we ban anime? Like, should Trump make it illegal, or should we do something to send them to Japan, maybe?
Force socialization, if anything. So we should force socialization with normal people.
Like, put them in rooms and make them talk and stuff. And
yeah, probably do that. That would actually help. I mean, because yeah, you could ban anime, but they'll be able to get it secretly. I mean,
yeah, like drugs, they could still get it. If
yeah, exactly. I mean. Yeah, man. I know in Kansas weed's illegal, but there's people who get it somewhere. So
yeah,
there's
in Florida they smoke meth and weed and all that all the time.
So there's no point in banning that stuff. The drugs ban those like the bad drugs, but what I'm saying. There's no point in banning anime because they'll figure out some way to go around it. I think if we've just forced socialization. Make it easier for people to get jobs, maybe. I mean, it would at least curb some of that obsession.
Yeah, but at the same time, you got to think, like, if you were manager at Best Buy, would you want to hire a weeaboo?
I gotta be quite honest. Even though you got expertise on anime, you would scare the customers. I gotta be quite honest.
Yeah, you'd creep them out and stuff and start speaking Chinese to them and all that.
Yeah, talking about your waifu and that you mess with your body pillow so much it stands on its own.
Yeah.
Like these conversations these people have.
Yeah, maybe give them a job where they're like, shoveling dirt or something where they don't have to creep people out. That'd be good.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I used to stream the game League of Legends, but the weebs kind of infiltrated that culture community.
They're infiltrating everything. Yeah. Oh, weeaboos are getting in everything.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like now, they post all their anime stuff in my chat. Come in and tell me, "Have you seen the movie Shrek?" It's one of my favorite movies. But yeah. So they always say it sucks because they like the Chinese animations more and all that.
Of course.
But I think Shrek is much better. It's much funnier, and you can watch it. High replay value too.
Oh yeah, but that's just how it is. They're just infiltrating everything. They used to just come from the anime community. Now they're just getting in every community. A few went in the Final Fantasy community. Just like a few of them, but it's like other than that, it's like they're getting in everything. They're getting into the comics. I don't know if you heard of the Amakami statues.
I've never heard of that. No.
That's actually DC superheroes, but weeaboo version.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're infiltrating every asset of everything, and turn it into a kawaii thing.
Yeah, we need to do something about the weebs.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad.
There's gonna be like a war someday between the weebs and normal people, but
exactly, they're getting in everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course, I think it comes from the political correct out because I think some of the political correctness and indoctrination comes from them.
Yeah, I never thought of that, but that makes sense because
exactly.
Riot Games is very political correct. They're hippies in California and stuff, so that makes sense.
Exactly, and they're accepting of everything, even weeaboos. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of weeaboos live in California.
So another group I've seen that has caused you some drama is called the alt-right trollers. What is that? Alt-right.
They're pretty much like they're pretty much like I'm trying to think so I'd say Civil War remnants.
Okay.
I've done a little bit of research because they were part of Trump's campaign. I've done a little bit of research, and they're pretty much remnants of civil rights that wants the world to be, like the 50s and stuff like that, and racist and all that stuff. And I disagree with that. And, just like social justice boys, they have the mentality, if you disagree with them, then you're horrible, you're a piece of shit, and all that stuff.
The real militant. Yeah.
Like I got in an argument on Facebook with one because I'm pro biracial marriage because I'm mixed. I'm pro biracial marriage, and I made a strong stance on it, and the all right dude just wasn't having it. So
you got in fights with him on Facebook?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, look, this stuff's just ignorant. I get we want the end of political correctness, but at the same time, there's some things that should be still established. I mean, it's not the 50s anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting. So they're from the Confederate Army and all that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And so you just get that ass banned when they troll you too.
Oh yeah, and it seems they're on Twitch a lot more because I've been watching other people's like Twitch compilations. They're just whoa.
Yeah, there's just one streamer, Ice and I think they were in there a bunch.
Yeah. They're extra. They're extra.
Oh yeah. So let's see what other questions I got for you. I'm sorry if I'm jumping around too much, but first time I've interviewed on stream. So what would you say your biggest advice then would be for a new streamer, someone who has to deal with all this drama right now?
Well, you just get prepared for it. I would start using the system like auto mod. I know people will accuse you of having, fake bot subscribers, but those are auto mod. I'd start using auto mod, get some regular mods to go on that with that, and learn and understand that this could be a pretty nasty environment. The best thing I could probably do is I wouldn't pay attention to too much of the chats or comments that you get. That way you could keep doing what you do, because you're going to be discouraged if you pay attention to negativity.
That's a good point. So that's your biggest advice would be?
Yes.
Ignore the douchebags if you can.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a good point. I get a lot of douchebags from the League of Legends community, so you gotta ignore that if you.
Oh yeah, I've heard the toxicity of the stories in the League of Legends community.
Oh yeah. So have you been in that community or just heard about it?
I just heard about it.
Okay. So who would win in a fight? The Rock? You know who The Rock is? He's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Sephiroth or Kylo Ren out of those three?
Oh man.
That's a tough one, right?
Yeah, that is. Well, with Kylo Ren, he has a lightsaber, and that can cut through anything. Sephiroth has god powers, and The Rock is real strong. I'd have to say Kylo Ren just because of that lightsaber. It could legitly cut through everything.
But he did lose a fight to a girl, though. You have to remember that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, if it's the one from episode 7 where he's not trained, then I'd have to go Sephiroth.
Sephiroth. What about The Rock, though? He's pretty beast.
Oh, he's pretty beast. He'd give him a run for their money.
What if he gets him with the people's elbow, though?
The people's what?
The elbow? That's his move?
Oh, yeah, that's right, the move. Still pretty strong.
All right. Well, I was going to say The Rock, but we can disagree on that one. So, do you like the movie Shrek or Shrek 2 better?
I think the first one's always good for some reason. It's always the first ones that end up being good for some reason.
I agree with that, 100%. There's people who say 2's better. I think the music is better in 2, but the story's better in 1.
Yeah, I like the story in the first one a lot better.
So, all right, next question then. Do you love God with all your heart?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good. Because I've noticed that, like, a lot of streamers now aren't Christians. They're not into doing the right thing. They're just kind of out for themselves. So I was wondering about that.
Yeah, well, my origins, as a kid, was Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's where my origins came from. And one thing is, I'll never shit on where I come from. I'm gonna always remember where I come from, no matter how famous or big I get. I'm gonna always remember where I come from.
That's good. That's good, bud. You don't want to end up like a lot of these streamers, like they just sell out or they do drugs.
Exactly.
And they lose their way, you know.
Exactly.
Like this girl I knew, Nicole, she was real famous, and then she got drunk on the alcohol, and she choked her cat on her stream and got banned for that.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, she's a nice girl, but the fame got to her head, you know. It was messed
and
up.
alcohol messes you up. Like a year back, I think I turned 21. I was a bit of an alcoholic for a little bit, but I quit. But still, it's not an expensive lifestyle, but there's trouble all the time when you drink a whole bunch. So
yeah, it's like instead of facing your problems and stuff,
it's better to fix your problems. Trust me.
Yeah, people will drink the alcohol, and all they need is to believe in themselves and God, and they can do anything they want. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And to be honest, you just don't need that stuff. It's expensive. First of all, you're wasting a whole lot of money.
That's a good point. So what would you say to the young kids watching streams, you know, who need a role model? What would you say to them?
I'd say, okay, this is going to be really hard. I had to come with the Martin Luther King-like speech on this one. But I'm trying to think. I'd say for the role model, don't be distracted about what's outside the world. Be focused on your streams, your work, and all that stuff. Don't be distracted by what's out there. What's out there is a distraction, you know. Forget about trying to be about the clubs and parties and all that mess, and be worried about your own flow, you know?
You gotta believe in yourself and not look for other people. I agree with that 100%.
Well, and like I said, don't be worried about what's out there, because what's out there is a distraction. What's out there is nothing but trouble. If you've been in the world a whole lot, there's nothing but trouble out there all the time. And see, if you don't get yourself involved with that stuff, you're gonna be on top and successful.
I agree with that. It's like there's so much distractions in the world now because you got the Facebook and the YouTubes and the Twitter. And there's always a new meme, you know. Everyone's doing a different meme every day, it seems like.
Exactly.
So, I think that's about it for my questions. Now, should we turn it over to chat, read some questions from chat, and then go from there? Okay. All right, chat. So go ahead. You can ask, how do you like to be called, Turk or Vincent? Because I know you got both of them.
Vincent's good. It's fun.
Okay. Vinny, thank you for resubbing, man. All right, so yeah, I got some questions for Vincent now. Chat, so read them off. Top out your quick. And then I was thinking, I could probably play a YouTube video from your stream. Got any on you want to do?
Let me go look.
Yeah, while chat's topping quick.
I got some recent ones if you're gonna play any videos. Let's see. I'll probably do my latest one, the Fabula Crystallis Novia still exists. That one.
Okay. You want to Skype that to me, and then I can bring it up?
Yeah.
All right. So, first question: how much money is good enough to donate to girl streamers? That's the first question we got.
To be honest, for me personally, $5.
$5?
Yeah, $5 seems reasonable.
Because I've seen some people donate like $1,000 or $5,000.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's not reasonable. That's because then they'll complain that they can't pay rent. It's like, dude, you just put your rent money to that.
He just blew his money. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So another question here: what happened to Dollar Store Girl? I don't know.
I don't know. She was just flaky, and look, I don't go anywhere I'm not wanted. That's just me right there.
Yeah. Yeah, has it ever
So
happened to you where you'll like text a girl and then she won't text you back?
exactly. And what you need to do for that, what you do for that stuff, is you just go find somebody else who will. It's like don't make it a big deal. Don't. What I see dudes doing too much is they fall apart. It's like don't fall apart. It's like. If she flakes on you, go find somebody else who will text you. It's like it's not that big of a deal.
That's a good point, bud. Yeah, it's like you just gotta keep moving on, get over it.
Exactly.
All right. So, question here. Are you currently involved with a female person?
Well, there's actually, one in mind that I'm working up to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, Sephiroth versus 10 billion lines. Who would win that?
Oh, Sephiroth, Meteor.
Meteor, yeah. He has magical powers. He can do aerial
Oh,
effect.
oh yeah.
That's a good point. Okay, so from Imstu87, is it okay to date your second cousin?
Oh, that's gonna be a really tough one. I mean, I guess if you didn't know, I guess so. Because I mean, sometimes families don't tell you the truth, and I experienced it. I mean, I haven't experienced that, but I've experienced families, lying about, not telling you everything. If you didn't know that your second cousin, maybe. I mean, because you don't really know, so you can't really make the decision.
That's true. Like, if you don't know, it's like, who cares,
Exactly.
Mother's up in here. What's your thoughts on stem cell research?
It's pretty much neutral. I don't really, to be quite honest, I don't really care about it. It's like it is what it is. I don't know enough to actually make an informative opinion about stem cell research. But I guess if it helps humans out, then it's not all bad.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know.
And, oh, this is a good one. What do you think about Shrek?
The first one's good. I
That's,
thought.
it's real good.
Yeah, I mean, the third. I mean, because it's always the first ones that are good. For some reason, the third ones don't end up being as good. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, Shrek 3 was okay, but it wasn't anything special, So, oh,
Hacked by Brotherton, hacked by Brotherton, hacked by Brotherton, hacked by Brotherton.
it says hacked by Brotherton right
By
now in my
Brotherton.
chat.
Yeah, should just get rid of it. He is so immature.
Now he's gonna troll me, I bet. He's gonna come in here.
Oh, he is. He don't know how to just let go of stuff.
Oh, here's a good one. What should I eat if I want to bulk up?
I'd go for rice, chicken, peanuts, pretty much anything to give you protein for bulk, because protein's the stuff that helps you with testosterone. I'd put some milk, but only some. Don't go overboard with milk. Peanut butter is really good as well. Peanut butter is really good.
And what exercise would you do to bulk?
For
Sit-ups?
just for regular bulk, I would do upper body and also weights. Any weight, curls, all that stuff. Curls, power lifts, all that stuff.
My favorite one to do is squats, where you put the bar in your
Or
back.
squats, exactly. Those all of those would be pretty good. Anything for upper body or big arms are good for bulk. But never skip leg day. I always see this. Never skip leg day. Have a lower body and cardio and leg day as well.
Yeah, leg day's real good because that'll get your legs real strong, and then you can do other stuff too with that.
Exactly.
All right, well, I think I think that's pretty much it for the questions in chat. Now it's just people saying they're gay and stuff. Should I? Oh, here's one. Should I take more than 2 types of protein at once?
Oh, it depends. I guess it depends, but I would do one, not only because the stuff's expensive, but the stuff should be strong enough where you just need to take at least 2 scoops of that one. It
But
should
not
be strong.
1 scoop of each, because that would mix it up. Right.
I mean, it would mix it up, but if you do too much, and you don't work out, let's just say okay, if you do too much, here's the thing: if you do too much, you're gonna gain, not gains, but other things. You're gonna gain fat.
Oh yeah.
So
You don't want that.
Yeah, I'd limit to 2 scoops of one protein. Hit the gym for amount of hours, and you should be good.
Yeah, what do you think about steroids, doing the anabolic steroids and stuff?
Well, I don't really believe in it because I think it's a cheap way. Sure, you're getting the muscle mass you're getting, but you're gonna shrink your dick, so you're gonna lose your marriage. You're gonna go to jail because most likely you're gonna get in a roid rage and do something stupid because it puts way too much testosterone, like unnatural amounts of levels.
Gross gore waiting room resident sleeper.
Yeah, it'll make you have roid rage. Like there's a streamer, his name Tyler1, and he does the steroids, and he always gets angry and stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, it puts way too much testosterone. You almost become a berserker at that point.
I heard it can make you bald too. Is that true?
It messes up your hairline.
Yeah, I don't want to be bald. So.
Yeah, it'll mess up your hairline.
So, trying to think of any other thing. Is there anything you want to say before we close out here, or anything about your stream or your YouTube?
Alright, subscribe, like, share. Also subscribe to Poopbutt as well for having me here. So,
Thanks, bud. And yeah, did you have fun?
yes, I did.
That's good, bud. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed the interview, and if you ever want to come on the stream again, we can talk about more crap, or we can just play a game together, and any of that would be fun.
All right, then.
All right, bud. Well, have a good weekend, and thanks for coming on.
All right, you're welcome.